Well, hey, Calvary Church, it's Ben Powers. I'm the ministry director here at Calvary, and it's so great just to talk through Galatians with you. I've enjoyed the series. It keeps reminding me more of God's grace and less of my work, more of the work that Jesus has done for me and for us, and less of the performance and work that we have to do in order for salvation and also in order for His favor in our lives. So we're in Galatians, at the end of Galatians chapter 3 and at the beginning of Galatians chapter 4 in this devotional. One of the things that I've loved about some of our sermons is we are introducing these ideas of salvation that Galatians leads us into. And so when we think of salvation, sometimes we think it's just, I'm forgiven of my sin. But what we've seen a couple of weeks ago in Galatians chapter 2 is, but I'm also justified because of Jesus' free gift to me. And justification is just this declaration that we are made right, that we are set, we are blameless, we are set right with God. It's this declaration that happens over and over. In Galatians chapter 3, we also see this idea of adoption. That not only are we forgiven of our sins, but we're also adopted into the family of God. We have this family that we're now a part of. And so Paul says it this way. He says, because you are his sons, God sent the spirit of his son into our hearts, the spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. That's Galatians 4, verse 6. And so we get this idea of we're not just disconnected from each other and from God, but now we're a part of this family, this relationship, this community that God is building. And so we get to participate in that, and we get the benefits of being a son and being a daughter. And one of those benefits is, in Galatians chapter 4, verse 7, is being an heir, that we're receiving an inheritance. And Paul says, so you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. And I want to just focus on that word heir. It is somebody who receives an inheritance. It's this picture of a lawyer who is sitting down with us, and our father has died, and there's a will that has been left to us. And here's this will that is being given to us, and it's all for us. The Father has worked hard. The Father has made sure everything is in place, and now we get to receive the inheritance, the benefits from the work of the Father. And so that's kind of the gospel. The gospel really is this reading of a final will. It is the receiving of this inheritance that we're given, not because of something that we've done, not because of something of how we performed, or the things that we've done right or things that we've done wrong, just because of God's love and because of His grace. And when we think about that, sometimes I think, I know from my own life, I can think, here's what God hasn't done. Here's what I wish God would have done. Here's what I wish God would do for my life. And it can lead me down a path of maybe not seeing the full gospel, the full gift that I've received. And the truth is, God's very generous, and He's been generous not just forgiving sin, not just declaring that we're right, not just bringing us into His family, but He gives us a great inheritance. And so as we go on, I encourage you, be worshiping, be thanking God for the things that He has given, but the promise that He gives of us being an heir, and everything that He has, everything that He's going to do, we get to be a part of that. And so as we may struggle throughout this life, or at times or seasons, we can always look to that for a greater hope that we have, that God is working, He is moving, He is leading us, He is giving to us.